FM here in Accra, Ultimate FM in Kumasi, and also Ago TV. Tonight, in fact, this afternoon, I always say tonight because I always host my guests at night, but this afternoon I'm talking to a man who's had a glittering career playing for some of the biggest clubs in the world. He played for Barcelona, Inter Milan, Chelsea, etc., etc. The list goes on, and he's won some of the biggest trophies in Europe. His last club before he hung his powerful boots was in the rich and beautiful country of Qatar with Qatar SC. He also donned the national colors of Cameroon and won 2 African Nations Cup, and is the leading goal scorer on the continent with 18 goals. For World Cup, he was the youngest player at France 1998 at only 17 years and 3 months old. Today, he leads the football administration in his country, Cameroon, as president of the Cameroonian FA. And already, his early days have come with clear signs of a bright vision. So this afternoon, we'll talk to him about playing as a footballer, his drive for success, his current role in leadership, and what the upcoming World Cup presents for African football and the future of the game we so dearly love. The Qatar 2022 Legacy Ambassador, Samuel Eto'o, is my guest for this afternoon as we build up to the World Cup in Qatar. You're welcome. It's good to see you.
Thank you, madame.
Should I say bonjour?
Bonjour.
Ça va?
Ça va très bien, vous?
That's all I can do. That's all I can do. For some parts of the interview, Samuel Eto'o will be speaking through an interpreter, Felix. It's good to have you here with us, Felix.
Okay.
All right, so I'll go straight to you. You being one of the chosen few as Qatar 2022 Legacy Ambassador, what does it mean for you?
C'est un honneur pour moi d'être ambassadeur, de représenter ce beau pays qu'est le Qatar.
It's an honor for me to represent this beautiful country, Qatar.
J'ai vécu mes 5 dernières années à Doha.
The 5 last year I lived in Doha.
Et je n'ai que de beaux souvenirs parce que les gens ne m'ont pas traité comme une star, mais sinon comme un être de plus dans une ville de plus de ma carrière.
And I loved it because I've not been treated like a football star, but people just treated me like an ordinary human being, and that was what I loved.
Et j'ai eu la chance de faire partie de ce beau projet qui prendra corps dans quelques semaines, notre Coupe du Monde, et j'espère qu'elle sera la plus belle.
And I've been fortunate to take part in this project of the World Cup, which will eventually unfold in the coming weeks.
Okay, and you said that you lived there for 5 years in Doha. So tell us about the culture, because there are a lot of Africans from Cameroon, your country, from Ghana, from Senegal, from Morocco and Tunisia, all going to Qatar for the World Cup. What would you say about the culture in Qatar, in Doha?
C'est une très belle culture qui se rapproche de la nôtre.
It's a beautiful culture which is close to ours.
Ce sont des gens qui ont le cœur sur la main, comme nous les Africains.
These are people that are welcoming, just like we Africans.
Et je suis convaincu que nous les Africains, nous serons très à l'aise à Doha, au Qatar.
And I'm convinced that African as we are, we just fit in Qatar.
Et j'espère que tous les supporters qui feront ce déplacement reviendront avec le beau sourire pour qu'enfin on gagne cette Coupe du Monde.
And I hope that all the people who make the journey to Qatar will come
all
back
African
people who make the journey to Qatar will actually come back with a broad smile on their faces.
Okay, and for people who have visited Qatar, this is what they keep saying, that Qatar is such a beautiful country, the people are welcoming, they are kind, they are nice people. But also you have fans who say, this country has a culture. You can't be just drinking alcohol, and we know how football.
It's not true.
It's not true. Okay, so tell us more about it. If you can do that in English.
It's not true, c'est pas vrai. On peut évidemment, quand vous allez chez quelqu'un, il est important de vous adapter à la façon de vivre de la personne.
It's not true because obviously when you go to somebody's home, you need to conform to the way of life of the people.
Mais le Qatar, dans son hospitalité, dans sa façon d'aimer les gens,
Qatar being a hospital country and the way they welcome people,
Ils ont permis que pendant cette période de Coupe du Monde, que les gens puissent boire, mais tout en respectant la façon de vivre des Qataris.
So they've made an arrangement for people to be able to take in alcohol, but of course, respecting the culture in Qatar.
Et je pense que pour nous Africains qui respectons tout, nous n'aurons aucun problème au Qatar.
And I believe for us Africans who are respectful of other people's culture, we won't have any problem being there.
Okay, you've had an opportunity to tour the stadia in Qatar, in Doha, and beautiful edifices that they put up. If you come back home to Africa, and I know, for instance, you have led the construction of some stadia in your country, but for us as Africans, what do we take away from what Qatar has been able to do since they won the nod to host the World Cup?
Tu peux tout traduire?
D'accord. Elle disait que vous avez voyagé, vous avez parcouru le monde et vous êtes au Qatar, ils ont eu de merveilleux stades. Et en tant qu'Africain, vous avez contribué également à la construction de certains stades dans votre pays. Alors, quelles sont les leçons que nous pouvons tirer en tant qu'Africains de ce qui s'est passé au Qatar?
La plus belle. La plus belle des leçons.
We can only draw the most beautiful of lessons.
Un petit État.
This is a very small country.
Qatar is a small country.
Okay.
Very small country. Mais avec une très grande idée.
A very small country, but with bright ideas.
Ils ont voulu avoir la Coupe du Monde. Ils l'ont obtenu en se battant.
They wanted to host the World Cup, and they actually fought to host it.
Ils ont cru en leur idée. Ils ont trouvé les hommes pour mettre leur idée en place.
They believe in their dreams, their idea, and they found the right people to make it happen.
Et aujourd'hui, ils vont offrir au monde la plus belle des Coupes du Monde jamais organisée.
And of course, today they'll offer the world the most beautiful World Cup ever being held.
Ce qui veut dire que nous, les Africains, nous pouvons changer le monde.
This means that it's a time for Africans to write the story, to change the narrative.
Okay. Now, for you, as an ex-player, not just an ex-player, but a legend, as you, Samuel Eto'o, you've played, you've won trophies, now you're leading an FA. What would be the best World Cup for an African country for you?
Win the World Cup.
Can an African country win the World Cup?
Why not?
Which country? Ghana?
For me, the best is African.
Okay.
It's not important Cameroon, Ghana, Tunisia,
Okay.
Morocco, or Senegal. The best World Cup for me is any country, African country, we win. But of course, I am president of
FA, Cameroon
FA. I want my country, but first Africa.
Okay. Do you think it is possible
Of
in
course.
2022 for an African country?
Of course. It's only 7 games.
Okay.
Sometimes the people think it's 200 games. No, it's only 7 games. The best in 7 games. It's possible. In 2010,
2010.
2010. South Africa.
yeah, Ghana will be very close.
Thanks to Suarez.
It's football. It's football.
Yeah.
Ghana, le Ghana était vraiment à côté, ce qui veut dire que c'est possible.
Well, in 2010, Ghana was very close to having a shot at it. So it only means that it is very possible.
So you think that for the period of the World Cup has been going on for about 92 years. So you think 2022, an African country can cross into semi-finals?
C'est possible.
Okay.
C'est pas impossible. Et le Ghana nous a prouvé que ce n'était pas impossible.
Well, it's possible. I would say it's not impossible. And Ghana proved that it is indeed possible to get there.
Okay.
Le football, ce sont des détails. Et on a eu suffisamment de temps pour apprendre.
Football is all about details, and we had enough time to learn.
Et je pense que les équipes africaines arriveront avec les mêmes chances et surtout la même façon de voir les choses que les autres nations.
And I believe that all African countries would go there with equal chance of winning and also have the same mindset like the other countries taking part.
Okay. Now, for you, when Cameroon qualified for the World Cup, you were ecstatic. You were over the moon, and it was understandable because you have played and qualified for the World Cup before. Now you're a leader and your country has qualified. How important was it for you, for instance, to insist that your colleague Rigobert Song became the coach of the team?
But first, that moment, it was incredible game.
Yes.
It was incredible. Je pense et je suis convaincu qu'il y a un Dieu qui existe quelque part.
It was an incredible game, and I believe and I'm convinced that there's a God somewhere.
Et que ce match, c'était la volonté de Dieu.
And it was only the will of God that prevailed.
Yeah.
Parce qu'en 2006, on a joué un match pareil face à l'Égypte et on n'est pas parti en Coupe du Monde.
Because in 2006,
Même situation.
we faced a similar situation with Egypt. Then we couldn't make it past. That's
Last second. Ben, pour moi, personnellement, il y avait un défi en plus parce que j'ai pris le courage de donner la possibilité à notre pays, le Cameroun, de se qualifier en proposant à l'État du Cameroun de nommer comme sélectionneur M. Rigobert Song, et qui a fait un travail magnifique en 3 semaines pour qualifier cette très belle équipe.
So for me, it was an additional challenge to qualify Cameroon for the World Cup because I took it upon myself to select Rigobert Song, to take to manage a team, and he did that only in 3 weeks, and he was able to qualify the team to the World Cup. So
You
Everyone-
believed in him.
Non seulement je croyais en Rigobert, et je sais qu'il était la seule personne à pouvoir le faire.
not only did I believe in him, I knew that he was the only person who could achieve it.
Okay.
Et il a fait avec les garçons.
And he did it with the boys.
Right. And so what does it mean? If you look across Africa, a lot of countries are moving away, getting expatriates, foreigners to coach teams. They are going for their own, for local teams. For instance, in Ghana, we have Eto'o. In Cameroon, you have Rigobert. Nigeria, for instance, even though we beat them. In Nigeria, also a local Senegal as well. What does it mean for Africans now to use their own to manage?
C'est cette
teams?
Afrique que nous voulons voir, cette Afrique qui est décomplexée maintenant, qui donne des opportunités à leurs propres fils.
So this is actually the Africa we want to see. That Africa that is giving an opportunity to the sons of the land to take control of affairs.
Okay.
Moi, je suis un Africain décomplexé. Je n'ai jamais pensé que j'étais meilleur que les autres, mais je ne me suis jamais vu inférieur aux autres.
Well, as an African, I don't have any complex, but I never saw myself as superior to any other person. Neither did I see myself to be inferior to anyone.
Okay, but I mean, Eto'o, you are Eto'o.
Yeah.
The superiority is always there, isn't it?
Non, je
No?
pense que j'ai, grâce à Dieu et à mes coéquipiers, j'ai écrit une belle histoire de la première partie de ma vie comme footballeur.
I think with the help of God and thanks to my teammates, I was able to chalk some great success on the first part of my career as a football player.
Mais je reste un humain comme tout le monde.
But I remain a human being just like anybody else.
Yeah.
Et j'ai l'ambition d'écrire une autre très belle histoire comme dirigeant du football.
And my ambition to rewrite another story as a football federation.
Mais c'est 2 mondes totalement différents parce qu'il y a beaucoup de politiques comme dirigeants.
Of course, this is totally different as a leader because it involves a lot of politics.
Mais j'ai la chance de compter avec un gouvernement qui m'accompagne et un peuple qui m'aime énormément.
However, I'm lucky to count on a government that is supporting me a lot and a population that is actually behind me, that loves me a lot.
Right. And it's interesting you talk about the population that loves you because since I posted your flyer that I'm interviewing, I've been getting messages even from Cameroon. A Cameroonian reached out and said that he's from Bamenda. And Bamenda has experienced so many conflicts.
Yes,
But
sir.
you're building a stadium in Bamenda for them. And for him, if there is no other reason to love you, it's because of the stadium. He will love you forever. Yeah. And I
Thank
thought
you.
that was
But
something
you know,
I had to tell you.
Pour moi, mon amour, je partage mon amour avec tous les Camerounais.
For me, I share that love that I have with all citizens in Cameroon.
Et Et ce qui nous unit, c'est cette équipe nationale-là, l'équipe nationale du Cameroun, où quand on joue, tout le monde est heureux de voir cette équipe gagner.
And what unites us as citizens is our national team, where when we are playing, everybody is rooting behind the team.
Et pour moi, il était important que le football se joue partout dans le Cameroun, parce que cette jeunesse-là, la seule chose qu'elle veut, c'est de jouer au football.
And for me, it was very important to see football being played across the Cameroonian territory, because this is a youthful population that loves football.
Okay. Now I'm going to move into some lifestyle issues, but I'm going back to a point you made that the World Cup is for Africa, and any African country that makes it to the semi-final, for instance, is a big win for Africa. So it means that all the countries are looking for all their best players to play. Just this week, our former captain, Samuel Eto'o, was on the BBC, and he mentioned that he'll be happy to play for Ghana again in Qatar. And he connected it to Roger Miller, who came back and still did wonders for his country. Do you think Samuel Eto'o should go for the World Cup and play for Ghana?
Samuel Eto'o, mon jeune frère, il nous a apporté tellement de joie.
Samuel Eto'o, being my younger brother, has actually given us great joy,
beaucoup de plaisir.
lots of pleasure.
Et je suis content de savoir qu'il veut relever ce défi.
And I'm glad to know that he wants to take on this challenge.
Mais une fois de plus encore, c'est le sélectionneur qui est le seul à avoir la dernière décision.
But once again, the final decision is that of the coach.
Right. I like that. Eto'o is really learning politics in Africa. Your answer is so political. I get it. All right. So I'm still going to focus on the World Cup now and what African countries can draw from, the World Cup in Qatar. There is this thorny issue that usually cuts across: winning bonuses. For instance, at the World Cup in Brazil, Ghana was all over the country, all over the world, because we flew money to Brazil for players. At what point do we draw the line between a player wearing the colors of their country and playing with passion, and then the quest for money from the FA that pay us or we don't play? Which one should come first, the money or the passion to play for your country?
Je pense qu'il faut respecter le travail des footballeurs.
I think first of all, you need to respect the work of footballers.
C'est leur boulot.
It's their work.
Et c'est comme vous, c'est comme moi.
It's just like what you're doing, and it's just like what I'm doing.
Mais moi, j'ai fait le choix de ne pas toucher à mon salaire parce que je n'en ai pas besoin.
But I personally decided not to touch my salary because I didn't need it.
Mais quand vous faites un boulot, vous êtes payé pour ça.
But of course, when you work, you need to be paid for it.
Parce que la fédération profite.
Because the federation will obviously benefit from it.
L'image du pays est vendue à l'international.
And you are selling the image of the country nationwide.
Donc je pense que ce n'est même pas une question de payer, c'est juste une reconnaissance vis-à-vis de ces joueurs pour dire que le pays, la fédération, nous sommes heureux pour ce que vous faites pour notre pays.
So it's not really about paying them, it's just acknowledging that the country is grateful for the work you're doing.
Parce que quand vous regardez peut-être, on ne peut pas payer un André Ayou qui gagne je ne sais pas combien de millions de pounds.
Because as a country, you'll not be able to pay Andrea Young, who earns a whole lot.
Right.
Mais on doit donner quelque chose pour lui dire, notre fils, notre joueur, nous sommes heureux pour ce que tu apportes au pays.
However, we need to give him something symbolic to say, as a son of the land, we are grateful for what you are doing for us.
Je pense que c'est plus dans la manière de faire les choses.
I believe it's the way we go about it.
Okay.
Et il faut anticiper. Parce qu'en Europe, que ce soit l'équipe de France, que ce soit l'Espagne, le Brésil, ils payent leurs joueurs.
And in Europe, be it in France or Spain, they actually pay their players.
Donc il faut que nous aussi on prenne la mentalité de respecter.
So we should also respect that ideology.
Okay. But players shouldn't take their country's ransom, should it?
Ça ne change pas l'amour que les joueurs ont pour le pays.
Well, it doesn't change the love they have for their country.
C'est une question de respect. Quand vous témoignez, c'est un peu comme une femme et son mari la femme qui se sent frustrée vis-à-vis de son mari, c'est pas parce qu'elle n'aime pas son mari, mais c'est parce que son mari a peut-être eu un comportement qui ne lui plaît pas.
It's similar to a wife who is frustrated because of what the husband is doing. It doesn't mean she doesn't love the husband.
Right.
It's just maybe the way he behaved.
Right,
Exactly.
that's an interesting analogy. All right, you've played against Ghana a few times.
Yeah.
What's your best memory?
Wow. Je crois, mon plus beau souvenir, je crois que c'était en 2008, demi-finale Ghana-Cameroun here.
The best memory is, I think, 2008 semi-final Ghana-Cameroun.
We hosted it.
Yes,
Ghana
here in
hosted
Ghana.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, semi-final.
You beat Ghana. Are you okay with that? Are you
No,
happy?
I'm not okay. I want to go back home.
I mean, you took us out. We were hosting and you kicked us out of the competition.
I'm so sorry for that. It's only football.
How did your friends feel, Michael Essien and co? Did you talk to them after?
Oui, on se parle très bien. Ce sont mes frères. Et évidemment, après cette victoire, ils étaient déçus. Même mon petit frère André Ayou, qui commençait, il était très excité pendant le match, mais il est comme mon fils. Donc je continue à l'aimer et lui aussi. Et après on passe, c'est juste un match de football.
Okay.
Well, of course, we did speak. They are just like my brothers,
Right.
just like Andre Ayew. I take him like a son. He was very passionate during the game, but after that we move on.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful game.
Yeah, the players moved on, but the country was heartbroken. I was heartbroken.
Moi aussi, parfois je pleure quand je perds, mais je comprends que c'est une histoire de football et la famille reste toujours.
Well, sometimes I also cry when I lose, but I understand that that's how the game is, and family is greater than the game.
Absolutely, that's very true. Thank you for saying that. Anyway, it doesn't mean we forgive Uruguay. There's a revenge coming in 2022, November in Qatar. Anyway, I'm moving away slightly because I'll be wrapping up very soon to talk about lifestyle, okay? You played in Milan. That's like the capital of fashion in the world. What is the biggest fashion temptation for a footballer? Is it to buy a lot of sports cars? Designer clothes? What's the temptation like if you play at the heights that you played?
Ça dépend de chacun d'entre nous. Moi, je suis quelqu'un qui aime les détails et je pense que la mode, c'est d'abord notre état d'esprit.
It depends on each and every one because
Right.
I, for one, am somebody who is particular about details, the little things. And first of all, fashion is a mindset.
Okay.
Donc, ma tentation est toujours d'avoir pratiquement tout sur mesure.
But so often I want to have everything fit the way I like it.
We've seen it in your suits, your jackets.
Oui, moi, je me sens pas très à l'aise de le dire, mais c'est ma façon à moi d'être, c'est ma façon à moi de vivre. Avec les moyens que j'ai, je préfère toujours être très élégant dans ce que j'aime, mais il y a d'autres qui s'adaptent, d'autres ont autre chose. Moi, c'est ma façon à moi.
Well, I don't feel too comfortable saying this, but this is who I am.
Right.
I like to have things the way I want them.
Right.
I like to feel elegant in what I wear.
Yeah.
Other people adapt, but it depends on everyone.
Yeah, we've seen it throughout your career, even with your football jersey. It was always very, fitted. Anyway, a few of the things you've said in the past, for instance, you were asked to choose between Jose Mourinho and Pep Guardiola, and you went for Jose Mourinho. You're still sticking with Jose Mourinho?
Of course.
Why?
Je pense que José m'a beaucoup plus apporté dans ma carrière que Pep, mais c'est deux grands entraîneurs déjà, mais qui ont une approche, une vision du football totalement différente. Même, je pense que celui qui m'a le plus apporté, c'est Mourinho.
Well, I still stick to the answer I gave years back. But I would say these are two great coaches.
Okay.
And I would say Jose gave me a whole lot more than Pep. and they have different vision of football, the way they see it, and it's because Jose actually brought me a whole lot more.
Okay, so it's Jose Mourinho for you. And still, you played with Lionel Messi.
No, he's played with me.
Okay. Thank you for the correction. Messi played with you. Messi was honored to play with Eto'o. There's this big debate, Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo.
Je vais toujours pencher pour Messi parce que, c'est un très très grand joueur, c'est un immense grand joueur, mais c'est comme un enfant que j'ai vu arriver. À l'époque, nous étions vraiment au top, et il arrivait, et il a fait son chemin, et aujourd'hui il est devenu un joueur unique. Cristiano Ronaldo l'est aussi, mais je vais toujours préférer Messi.
Okay.
So I will always sway towards Messi because Messi is a great player, a wonderful player, and I'll say this is a young boy that we saw coming up, but then we were already at that level,
right.
And he's made his way up, and today he's a great player. I'll say Cristiano Ronaldo is also unique, but Messi is my choice.
Okay, and still on lifestyle, I mean, we saw what you did as a player, and then when you retired, we still saw Samuel Eto'o as the same Samuel Eto'o, even though you are no longer on the pitch kicking ball. Is there a particular campaign, for instance, you as an ex-player would want to lead in Africa? Because when our players retire, some of the stories we hear about them after are so troubling and painful. What would you say to a young, a 16-year-old Samuel Eto'o who has just started playing football?
Je pense qu'ils doivent comprendre que le jour où ils commencent à jouer, ils doivent savoir qu'ils vont arrêter de jouer au football et commencer à préparer déjà leur retraite, leur sortie. Parce que
I need to say that the very day they start kicking a ball, they must understand that one day they'll stop playing that ball.
So how do you prepare for that?
ils doivent commencer à préparer leur sortie.
And they have to start preparing that exit.
Le véritable problème en Afrique, mais c'est pas seulement dans le football, c'est un peu partout, c'est que les gens ne pensent pas qu'ils vont s'arrêter un jour.
The problem here is that it's not just about football in Africa, it's almost in every aspect of life. People never think about the fact that one day they'll stop doing what they used to do.
Donc il faut toujours anticiper et se donner des opportunités pour après la carrière qu'on a aujourd'hui.
So you really need to anticipate and give yourself certain opportunities so that you have a life after your career.
Absolutely, that is very great. Does it break your heart hearing that some ex-players are living a very difficult life now? How do you feel?
Ça nous dérange. Mais le problème aussi, c'est que notre société n'est pas reconnaissante vis-à-vis de ces joueurs. Parce que quand vous regardez peut-être dans d'autres pays, la reconversion de certains joueurs, elle est facilitée aussi par certains pays qui les introduisent dans pas mal de choses. Mais il est vrai que celui qui déclenche ça, c'est la personne elle-même.
So of course it bothers me, but la transition, c'est ça?
Oui, ça me dérange.
It bothers me, but you have to prepare that transition yourself. And in some European countries, you can see that transition is actually prepared for these players. The country helps them to transition to that life after their football career. But the person who needs to start is the one involved.
So should the countries in Africa put something like that in place for our footballers?
Je pense pas forcément mettre une structure, mais permettre, faciliter pour que les anciens, ceux qui ont servi le pays, puissent avoir des opportunités et pouvoir défendre ces opportunités-là.
It's not necessarily about putting in place a structure, but it's just to help the transition, to make sure that people who have contributed to the country, who have helped the country, are able to make that transition.
For example, le poste d'entraîneur, sélectionneur de nos équipes nationales, on prenait souvent des étrangers.
If we take the coaches, we are used to going for expats.
Pourtant, c'est une opportunité qu'on pouvait donner aux anciens joueurs.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, this is an opportunity that we can give to other players.
Et aujourd'hui, on voit que les sélectionneurs africains, ils le font très bien.
And today we can see that the African coaches are actually up to the task and they're doing well.
Et c'est une opportunité aussi de vie qu'on donne.
So this is also an opportunity we are giving them.
Absolutely. Okay, so you played in Spain, you played in Italy, you played in England, you played in Turkey, you played in Qatar, you played in so many countries. Which country was your favorite?
Africa.
That's a wonderful answer. Thank you very much. Africa, that's a wonderful answer. That's great. Anyway, so if I ask you to name the top 5 African players alive, who would be in that list?
I think...
Excluding Samuel Eto'o.
No, I think I have...
Okay.
In the first position, I have 3 names.
Okay.
It's difficult to me to choose.
Okay.
I have Roger Mila,
Okay.
Mr. President, GHOne,
Okay.
and I have one of the best ever, Abeji Pele.
Right.
You know, when I am kid, that 3 big names was incredible.
Right.
After that, you have Adebayo, you have Yaya Touré, you have Didier Drogba, you have my brother Michael Essien. 5 is not a lot.
Yeah, it's not a lot.
No.
And in fact, you've even taken yourself out.
Yeah.
You're not even part of the list.
Still
Yeah.
having a lot of names.
Yeah.
Kanute, Gigi Okocha, Amokashi, George Finidi, Rigobert Song, Patrick Mboma, Siasia, a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of players.
How about the current generation, those playing now?
Now, Africa is have one of the best player in the world. For my opinion, is Sadio Mane. I think he will be the next Ballon d'Or. For me. You have my own brother, of course. Are you? Both.
The 2 of them? Both of them?
Both of them.
Okay.
You have in my national team, you have my captain, Vincent Aboubakar. You have Karl Toko Ekambi. You have Choupo-Moting. You have a lot of players now in Africa and doing well.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, back to the question. I'm sure
My English is good, eh?
Your English is so good. I know. The English is so good. So I thought you were not speaking English.
Okay.
It's so good listening to you in English. Where did you learn to speak English?
Devant les caméras, parce qu'il faut très bien contrôler ce que je dis. Je ne m'exprime pas toujours en anglais, mais je tiens les conversations en anglais hors caméra.
So actually this is what happens when I find myself on camera. I'm not able to articulate well what I want to say, so
Right.
I prefer to go French. But off camera, I'm able to converse in English.
In English, okay. That's actually a smart, but that way you are not misconstrued. Whatever you say is exactly that. You don't want the journalists to have problems with you. I totally understand that
I don't want to be in big trouble.
I want to talk about the African Cup of Nations. You have played in the Cup of Nations a number of times. You've won it 2 times. And we hear every now and then some Europeans degrading the African Cup of Nations. Recently, the owner of Napoli said that when they bring in any African, the African must commit to not playing in the African Cup of Nations. How do you feel, number 1, as an ex-player who won it, who played at the height of it, and number 2, as the president of an FA?
Oh, je pense que le président de Napoli s'est un peu laissé aller. Il a parlé, il allait beaucoup plus loin que sa pensée.
I think the Napoli president actually he went too far in his statement.
Mais en fait, il n'a pas le choix quand il a un joueur africain. Moi, j'ai l'un des meilleurs joueurs africains qui joue dans son équipe, qui est Zambo Anguissa.
But actually, he has no choice because I have a player who plays in his team,
Okay.
Zambo Gissa.
He's my player in national team. Si le sélectionneur Rigobert Song pense que Zambo Anguissa doit faire partie de l'équipe, ben, nous allons le convoquer et puis il sera avec l'équipe. Le président n'aura rien à dire.
And if Rigobert Song thinks that Zamboa should be part of the national team, of course we call on him, and the Napoli president will have nothing to say.
And if they stop him from coming?
It's not possible.
Okay.
C'est pas possible. Il ne peut pas stopper. Il n'y a que le joueur qui peut stopper. Et encore, il faut qu'il soit malade, qu'il prouve qu'il est malade et que la fédération l'accepte. Parce que nous, quand ce sont les périodes de FIFA, nous avons le pouvoir de faire convoquer les joueurs et qu'ils viennent. Ils ne peuvent pas dire non.
It's simply not possible because it's only the player that can decide not to come. And even that, the player must give a reason. Maybe he's sick and prove that he's sick.
Right.
Because during the FIFA period, we have that authority to call on any player.
Absolutely. Did you ever face such a conundrum when you were playing that you had to put your club ahead of your commitment to Cameroon?
Moi, je n'ai jamais. Mon choix a toujours été clair. Mon pays avant toute autre chose.
Well, I've always been clear about it. My country comes first.
Et après, mon club. J'ai eu des soucis en club, mais bon, j'étais Eto'o et puis on l'acceptait.
Well, then comes my club. I've had some challenges with my club, but I'm Eto'o, and you just have to deal with it.
Absolutely, you're Eto'o. Do you think that it's time for CAF, for instance, to reassess the timing of the Cup of Nations, just so we are not caught up in this pickle?
Est-ce que vous pensez que c'est le moment pour la CAF de revoir le calendrier des compétitions, comme ça on ne va pas se retrouver dans ces mêmes situations?
Le calendrier à quel niveau?
When you're talking about the timing, what do you mean?
The time that the African Cup of Nations is held.
La période où on joue la Coupe d'Afrique des Nations.
Je pense que il est bien de jouer en janvier-février parce qu'en Afrique il pleut énormément pendant le mois de juin, juillet, août et septembre aussi. Donc on ne peut pas jouer en Afrique en juin, juillet, août où on pourra le faire dans un ou deux pays, mais ça ne peut pas être la règle. Et quelqu'un avait proposé, et nous l'avions, et j'étais d'ailleurs parmi ceux-là, de dire il faut qu'on s'adapte selon les nations. Parce que le climat n'est pas dans sa globalité, la majorité des pays, il pleut en juin, juillet, août, mais le climat dans d'autres pays, il pleut peut-être moins. Alors, il faut qu'on soit flexible au niveau des dates et que ça ne dérange personne. La preuve, la plus belle Coupe du Monde se jouera en novembre et décembre. Il n'y aura aucun problème. Et nous sommes tous heureux d'être au Qatar.
Of course, this shouldn't be a problem because we should still play within the month of January and February because it's the best month for us to play. In Africa, mostly June, July, I guess even sometimes September is a rainy season. However, this shouldn't be a rule. And we just need to, some people made a suggestion and I was part of it. We need to adapt according to the climate in every country. And we also need to be flexible with the date. Of course, we are even playing in Qatar in November and December.
Okay. That's it? You said more than that. That's all.
Yeah,
Et nous serons heureux d'être là-bas.
and we'll be glad to be in Qatar.
Yeah, absolutely. Glad to be in Qatar. Before I let you go, what kind of music do you listen to?
Rumba. Do you know rumba?
No, I don't.
Kofi Olomide.
Oh, that's
Of
rumba.
course. Fali Ipupa.
Yeah, Fali. Oh, I love Fali Ipupa. I
it's
love
rumba.
I love, oh, it's called rumba.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, I
That
love,
kind of music is rumba.
yeah. Do you listen to any Ghanaian artists?
Pas vraiment. Je suis désolé, mais pas vraiment.
I'm sorry, but not really.
Not really. I can recommend a few artists to you.
Please.
Yes, Sarkodie, Mr. Drew, King Promise.
Okay. Please.
So Sarkodie, Mr. Drew, King Promise. Who else? Stonebwoy,
Stonebwoy.
Shatawale. Have you heard of Shatawale? No. Okay, these five. And then Miss V, Adina, they are ladies, and Becca. Yeah, it's a list. Yeah. Check them out when you go back to your room. You will love their music. And what kind of food do you eat? Cameroonian food or you love continent? I mean.
Par contre, je suis très difficile au niveau de la nourriture.
I'm a little bit delicate when it comes to food.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Why?
Je crois que c'est beaucoup plus parce que j'ai voulu être tellement performant que je me suis mis des interdits dans ma carrière.
I think it's because I really wanted to be very performant in my career that I put some restrictions on myself.
Et quand j'ai arrêté de jouer au football, j'ai voulu me lâcher.
And when I stopped playing, I just wanted to let it go.
Right.
Et puis j'ai pris 10 kilos.
And then I actually took up 10 kg.
Oh, 10.
Yeah, mais maintenant je fais le régime comme les femmes.
So now I'm on diet just like the women.
Yeah, we are permanently on a diet. Permanently on a diet. It's been a pleasure talking to you. But before I finally let you go, when you were growing up, I mean, you knew you just wanted to score goals. When you started playing and you were scoring the goals, do you think there was any other position that you would be great at? Great on the pitch? Any football position? Maybe goalkeeper?
C'est-à-dire, en grandissant, vous savez que vous voulez juste jouer, marquer des buts, mais est-ce que vous avez déjà eu une idée dès lors du poste que vous voulez jouer sur le terrain?
Non, parce que quand j'étais plus jeune, j'étais défenseur. Et quand j'avais 12 ans, on m'a fait jouer milieu de terrain. Et puis j'ai eu un entraîneur congolais, Mata, qui est arrivé au Cameroun et il m'a dit non, vous êtes avant-centre. Et depuis là, j'ai fait toute ma carrière comme avant-centre.
Can you say that in English?
Okay, so
It sounds very exciting.
yeah, so I really didn't have any idea because I started as a defender.
Right. Oh.
Then when I was 12 years old, they made me play midfield.
Okay.
And then there was this coach that came from Congo, and he made me play striker position.
After that, I never
that
changed.
was it.
You never changed.
I never changed. I scored a lot of goals.
Yeah, you kept scoring. And you're still the leading scorer on the continent with 18 goals.
Mais c'est beaucoup d'années de travail pour rester là. Et j'espère que les jeunes qui arrivent vont battre ce record.
Well, of course, this came up with many years of work.
Absolutely.
And I hope that the young ones that are coming up will
beat the record?
Beat the record.
You want somebody to beat the record?
Of course.
Okay, that's very kind of you. What do you think is happening to Manchester United?
I don't know what happened, but I am always blue. I'm so sorry for you.
This is where we end the interview. As a Manchester United fan.
I'm so sorry for you, but always blue.
You love Chelsea.
Yeah.
Of course, you play for Chelsea.
Exactly.
Okay, and Chelsea went through a patch recently with the exit of Abramovich. How did you feel?
It's politics.
Right.
I don't give my opinion in politics. You never know.
True. That's true. You never know.
In the night, all his friends. During the day, fighting.
That is very true. Thank you so much, Samuel
Welcome.
Eto'o. It's a pleasure talking to you.
Pleasure too.
And thank you for watching the show on GHOne TV, Ago TV, for listening on Star 103.5 FM and Ultimate FM in Kumasi. Thank you and have a wonderful day.
Ramirez. Samuel Eto'o, 2-0!
Well, right now you're active on the hottest, most fuego, the dopest show coming to you live from the motherland, live from the 233.
Welcome to Rhythms 101.